Something that everyone can use, control, and contribute to. Or
In a boy band, Stanley, and that is final!
One house in South Park has been drawn wrong on purpose for almost 30 years. Not by accident, not because nobody cared. Trey Parker and Matt Stone changed the layout of that house so many times, they eventually had to make a joke out of it inside the show itself. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly why the most famous cartoon house in America doesn't actually exist as one single house. Here's why this matters if you actually love this show. South Park has been on the air since 1997. That's over 300 episodes, almost all of them set inside or around the Marsh family home. And yet, if you tried to build that house in real life using the show as a blueprint, you couldn't do it. The windows move, the stairs disappear.
What just happened?
well, now at least we know that sometimes a good old thumbs up from a human is better than a machine-generated lie.
Yeah, you're right.
Entire rooms show up once and are never seen again. Today, we're tracing the full timeline of how South Park's most iconic house got built, broken, and quietly retconned in front of millions of people who never noticed. And at the end, I'll show you the one moment the show finally admitted it was happening. Go back to the beginning. Season 1. South Park was crude on purpose. Trey Parker and Matt Stone built the pilot using construction paper and stop motion. The Marsh house in those early episodes is barely a house at all. It's a flat rectangle with a triangle roof, one window, one door. That's it. There's no real interior logic because there didn't need to be. The show wasn't trying to be consistent. It was trying to survive. Comedy Central gave this show 6 episodes. Nobody on that crew thought they'd need a floor plan that made sense 5 years later, so they never made one. And that single decision is the reason everything gets messy from here. Once the show became a hit, they couldn't just stop and redesign the house. They had to keep drawing it, episode after episode, and every artist who touched it made small, invisible choices. Nobody was tracking those choices in a document anywhere. There was no Bible for what the house was supposed to look like. Whatever the last episode showed became the loose starting point for the next one. And even that wasn't strictly followed. That's where the drift begins. By season 3, South Park moved to digital animation. No more cutouts. Now they're using computers, and that changes how backgrounds get made. Here's the part most fans don't know. South Park is made fast, insanely fast. Most episodes are written, animated, and finished in about 6 days. 6 days. Think about that for a second. A crew turning around a full episode in less than a week doesn't have time to check whether the Marsh's living room window is on the same wall it was 2 years earlier. So they don't check, they draw what looks right for that scene.
No thanks, I'd rather not.
Right, then I'm going to have to take it.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Come on.
The couch moves to whatever side of the room the joke needs it on. The kitchen door goes wherever a character needs to walk in from. By 2001, the house had already been rebuilt at least 4 different ways, and nobody working on the show ever announced it. Digital tools actually made this worse in one specific way. Under the old cutout system, artists physically reused the same paper pieces because building new ones took time. Once everything moved to software, a background artist could redraw a wall in minutes. That made it easier to change things without even realizing a change had happened. Fans started noticing around this time on early message boards. People would screenshot 2 episodes and ask why the stairs moved. Nobody at South Park Studios ever answered, because the honest answer was kind of embarrassing. They forgot. This is where it gets interesting. Once South Park hit syndication, fans could finally watch episodes back to back instead of a week apart. That's when the pattern became impossible to ignore. Someone built a fan wiki page specifically to track the Marsh house layout across every season. It's still online today. It documents things like the number of stairs changing between episodes, Stan's bedroom window facing a different direction depending on the season, and a second-floor hallway that sometimes exists and sometimes doesn't. One detail fans loved pointing out. In some episodes, the Marsh house has a basement. In others, characters explicitly say it doesn't have one. Small thing, but once you notice it, you can't stop seeing it. Other fans went further and mapped the front yard. The driveway shifts sides of the house depending on the episode. The distance to the Broflovsky house next door stretches and shrinks depending on what the scene needs. None of it lines up if you lay the episodes side by side. By the mid-2000s, this wasn't just a fan curiosity anymore. It became a running joke in the community. The same way people joke about geography errors in The Simpsons, except South Park's crew was watching too, and they were about to do something almost no long-running show ever does. Here's the payoff. Around season 20, South Park started leaning into its own inconsistencies as a joke. Trey Parker has talked in interviews about how little the show plans ahead visually. Episodes get built around jokes first. The backgrounds get built around the joke, not the other way around. So if a scene is funnier with the fridge on the left wall, the fridge goes on the left wall, even if it's been on the right wall for 15 years. That's not laziness. That's actually the entire philosophy behind why South Park still works after almost 30 years. They prioritize the joke landing this week over continuity holding up for a rewatch nobody asked for. Compare that to a show like The Simpsons, which has had entire animators dedicated to keeping certain rooms consistent because fans expect it. South Park never had that luxury, and honestly, never wanted it. The show is built week to week, reacting to real news, which means the art has to move at the same speed as the writing. Continuity was never going to survive that pace, and once you know that, the whole mystery kind of dissolves. The house was never one house. It was hundreds of temporary sets, redrawn under deadline pressure by different artists for almost 3 decades. So here's the real answer to the question we opened with. The South Park house doesn't exist because South Park was never built to be architecturally consistent. It was built to be fast and funny and disposable in the best way. Every version of that house you've ever seen
Choose now to hurt me.
Stanley, oh my God, baby!
is a snapshot of a 6-day sprint by a small crew trying to hit a Wednesday night deadline. The inconsistencies aren't mistakes to be embarrassed about. They're proof of how insane the production schedule actually is. That's the trade-off. A show this consistently funny for this many decades couldn't also be a show with a perfect blueprint. You basically get one or the other. South Park chose the jokes every single time. And honestly, that choice is probably why the show is still on the air, while a lot of its more polished competitors quietly disappeared. So here's my question for you. Did you ever notice the house changing before today? Or is this the first time you're seeing it? Let me know in the comments which season's version of the house looks the most accurate to you, because fans genuinely disagree on this. And if you liked pulling apart small details like this, go watch my video on the real Colorado town South Park was based on. It explains why the mountains in the background have been wrong since episode 1 too. And once you see that pattern, you'll start noticing it everywhere in this show. Don't go anywhere. Click the next South Park video on your screen right now, because the secrets in that one are even crazier. See you there!
Hot light, let it shine wherever you go. Let it